Spurs defeated the Clippers 119-115 to record their 50th win of the season. It is the Spurs' first 50-win season since the 2016-17 season. Wemby continued his stellar play with 21 points, 13 rebounds, and 4 blocks in the victory. So San Antonio, an NBA best 18-2 in their last 20 games. Stephen A., what more do the Spurs have to show you to legitimize themselves as title contenders?
Nothing. Nothing at all. I think they're there now. And I think that you have to look at them and just they can't show anything until the postseason, because the only question we have about them is their experience. We certainly don't have questions about their talent. We don't have questions about their competitive fervor. We don't have questions about their perimeter shooting, their athleticism, their ability to defend. We don't have questions about all of that. And as of February 1st, since February 1st, the San Antonio Spurs at 18-2 have the best record in the NBA, the best offensive rating in the NBA, the best net rating in the NBA, the best effective field goal percentage shooting in the NBA. This is the San Antonio Spurs that we're talking about. And the name that we don't mention enough, Big Perk, is Mitch Johnson. This is the head coach. This isn't Greg Popovich on the sideline. This is this young cat, Mitch Johnson. I mean, we never, ever, ever mention him. This kid is doing one hell of a job coaching. He's doing a hell of a job. And we never, ever, I never hear anybody mention his name. Well, we're going to put an end to that right now, because this kid has proven he knows what the hell he's doing as the coach of the San Antonio Spurs and deserves all the credit in the world. But I do think it's really, really going to come down to De'Aaron Fox and a Harrison Barnes, strictly from an experience perspective. Castle and Vassell and those boys and Harper, they can play. Got no doubt about that. Got all the faith in the world in them. And you don't teach 7'5", particularly with Wemby's skill set. He isn't coming. He's here. And he's letting you know he's here. He wants the MVP. He wants the Defensive Player of the Year award. He wants it both, and he's playing for it, and he's doing it unapologetically. But in the end, what it comes down to is that as the game slows come postseason time and it gets a bit more physical and some of those calls don't go your way, how are you going to react at that particular moment in time? That's how I think we have to look at the San Antonio Spurs as we speak at this particular juncture. So there's still a question mark about them, but it's pretty much because we haven't seen them do it. They haven't been there, not because we're looking at them and saying they can't. We can't look at this team and say there's something that they can't do. Not with Wemby leading the way. We can't say that about them.
So the way Stephen A. is laying this out, they're already in the conversation to be a title contender. Perk, take it a step further to be a title favorite. What do they need to show you?
Y'all know how I feel about the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's my home away from home. But damn it, I'm going to say this again on national television. The San Antonio Spurs are going to win the NBA championship this year. They're going to win the NBA championship this year. I don't give a damn about all this. They don't have the experience talk, because you know what they're going to have? They're going to have home court advantage all the way up to the conference finals. And they have proven this season that they're not afraid or even thinking about the Oklahoma City Thunder. They actually want that smoke. And so when I look at this team, I'm looking at the little things. Yes, we're looking at Wemby and his offensive game. I love how he's found that balance of mixing it, being a big man first to a guy that can stretch the floor, being a star, ultimate star and a leader in his role. Stephon Castle, the bright spot in this is that he's been the facilitator all season long. So he's been able to be able to go through his growing pains. And the one thing that I look at is the two-man game, because we know in the playoffs you got to have that two-man game and that chemistry. Wemby and Stephon Castle, they have that. And then you have championship experience, Harrison Barnes, who could come in off the bench and he could have an impact in the series. De'Aaron Fox, we saw him a few seasons ago go toe-to-toe with the great Steph Curry in one of the best 7-game series that we've seen in NBA history for as an individual standpoint. And so when I look at the Spurs and I look at how at the San Antonio Spurs and how they play agenda-free basketball, they don't care who night it's going to be. One night it could be Keldon Johnson. Now all of a sudden the rookie Bryant, he's been thrown in the mix. They have defensive stoppers, and the playoffs have started for them already. If you watch them, they play with a certain type of playoff level intensity right now to build, and they're peaking at the right time.
I get you. I understand it, and I think that you're absolutely on point if Jalen Williams doesn't come back. But if Jalen Williams come back, the way I'm seeing Shea Butter play, I'm going to place my faith in the reigning league MVP, the reigning NBA Finals MVP, and the reigning NBA champion. Because, oh, by the way, he's on the verge of winning another one. That's what I'm looking at. Now, obviously, you know what? You need to be fully loaded because the San Antonio Spurs require you to do so. You can't show up against those brothers and just be normal. You can't show up against those brothers or be shorthanded, rather. That's a better way to put it. But if you got Jalen Williams back in the lineup, with what I'm seeing from the Oklahoma City Thunder and Shea Butter doing his thing, I'm not going to lose faith in them. I'm going to believe that they can get it done. So I don't view the San Antonio Spurs as the favorites. I certainly don't have them winning the championship this year. I do have Wemby winning several championships. I do have the San Antonio Spurs winning several championships over the next few years. I just don't think it's going to be this season. I think they go deep. I think they go to the Western Conference Finals. And I think that 4-1 record that they have against OKC comes to a halt come postseason time. And obviously OKC pulls it out and wins the series and goes back to the NBA Finals. That's how I view it.
All right. Perk, I love a good title guarantee. Spurs plus 425 to win the West. Second shortest odds right now, plus 650 to win the NBA Finals. Third shortest odds in the league at the moment, according to DraftKings Sportsbook. We're going to make sure that we bring this back at some point. I know, I'm sure of it here on First Take. All right.
Darius Garland is 6'1", Wemby's 7'4". Look at Garland's strategy here. All right, I'm just going to pull it all the way back to about the logo, and I'm going to shoot it from here, and good.
Good strategy.
That's the strategy. Just take 40-foot jumpers against Wemby, and you might have a shot. Garland has been a great addition for the Clippers since they acquired him. How about Stephon Castle finding Wemby?
Why jump? You're not contesting the shot anyway.
He tried. Jumping as if he's going to block it. Wemby's so lethal. How about this? Off the dribble, rolls, bucket, and the foul. And like Nicholas Batum, his countryman, can't stop him there down low. He's flexing. Wemby's so smart. Look at this move here by Castle. Oh my gosh! Disrespectful to Brook Lopez, one of the NBA's better players over the years. That was nasty. Third quarter, more Spurs into Wemby. And look at this. Looks like George Durpin, the Iceman in those uniforms. There's a left
I like that.
finger
The
roll.
Iceman cooking.
So pretty. And then the lob and the dunk, and he goes down. He was okay. They are so young, and they are so fun to watch. They rolled in this one, 119 to 115. Remember, no Kawhi, yet still the Spurs are up to an even 50 wins, which is second in the league to the Thunder, and it's the most the Spurs have had since 2016, 2017, the Kawhi LaMarcus Aldridge years. San Antonio has won 18 of their last 20 games, and they're trying to close in on OKC. They're just 3 games back for that 1 seed. Vince Goodwill, we bring it to you. It feels like every week we're having the same conversation, and it's only getting louder and louder. The Spurs, do you look at them as a legit threat to OKC?
You have to. Look, they beat Oklahoma City 4 out of 5 times when they weren't shooting well, when we didn't know that they were a good team. They were just winning off of sheer hate because Big Vic hates Chet Holmgren, and it has permeated through the rest of the team. But now when you look at it from the brass tacks, they have increased their shooting in every single month of the season. They're shooting 38% from 3. That's right at the line of where you want to be come playoff time. I know they are inexperienced. I know they are jumping from 34 wins last year to 55 or 60, whatever it's going to be this year. And you should say they're not going to make the finals. But who's going to put a limit on Big Slim? Who's going to tell them that they can't do it? And now even San Antonio, their front office, they're saying, you know what? We thought we would be good this year. We weren't sure how good. We're anxious to see what the playoffs look like. They know it's a war of attrition. I'm fascinated for the next month.
I love the nickname Big Slim. I'm also curious about his minutes because here we go. Everyone else, we see the load management throughout the league, but feels like they're playing Wemby here. What's the plan for them going into the playoffs?
Victor Wembanyama is going to be fine as long as there's no injury. The question is, how are teams going to plan for Victor Wembanyama and these Spurs? Like, that's literally what everyone, whether it's Oklahoma City, whether it's Denver, any other team in the West, any team obviously in the East, you have to really game plan offensively because Victor Wembanyama changes games on the defensive end. He mucks it up Oklahoma City knows it. Denver knows it. He has the ability on both ends of the floor to change everything that they do. And there is a fear factor when you play him. And, just talking to players around the league, you feel that and you sense that. And so the run that he's on and his mentality after the game, they win 50 games. You know what he's saying? I want to go win 60. Like, I want to win MVP. I want to be Defensive Player of the Year. And this year he has a chance to do and put himself in position for all of that.
Their average age of their starting lineup, I think, is 23 years old. Now, the question is, all right, then you're going to bring that up against LeBron and Luka, who have been there, and you're going to go up against Ant Edwards, who's been in these big spots. Are they too young? Is it too soon? Or are you ready to say, you know what? Forget the history in the NBA. They could be ready now.
They are too young. It is too soon. But I'm willing to entertain the conversation of bucking 77 years of NBA history that says you got to lose big, you got to get your heart broken before you win. Because they have improved so much throughout the course of the season. It seems like they are learning lessons through winning, learning a lot faster. Now, when Big Vic has to play every other day and the referees schedule the game a little bit tighter,
sure,
and you can beat up on him, I'm fascinated to see how he handles that. But once again, he's played in big games his entire career, and he hates everybody. I love that fact. He hates everybody, Peter.
Victor Wembanyama,
he hates everybody.
Okay.
He's Jason Voorhees.
Okay.
He hates everybody.
That's it.
Let's also put this in perspective. Where San Antonio is right now, this is where Oklahoma City was 2 years ago, where you win a ton of games, you've never been part of a long playoff run, then you get through it, and then what happened with Oklahoma City? They lose, I believe, in the second round
to
Dallas,
and then they make it to the finals and win the championship
Get your wins
next
now.
year.
If you're going to beat San Antonio, you better beat them this year because it's only going to get progressively harder for the next decade.
OKC's not going anywhere either. I love the NBA's Western Conference, and we have plenty more NBA on